I was thinking about this the other day. Usually, when you bring a new hire onto your team, especially like a really brilliant one, there's this honeymoon phase.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're just amazed by their raw intelligence, right? You
Yeah.
think, wow, this person is a genius. They can figure literally anything out.
Yeah.
But then, and it always happens, week 2 hits.
Yep. The reality check.
Exactly. You ask them to, I don't know, file a standard expense report or pull some specific weekly metric from that one weird internal dashboard your company uses, and suddenly they just freeze.
Right, because that raw intelligence just hits a wall. They don't know where the files are kept or, they don't understand the obscure naming conventions that your accounting department insists on using.
Yeah, the unwritten rules of the office.
Exactly. It's the classic smart but clueless paradox. Brilliant, sure,
Yeah.
but entirely unequipped to handle how things actually get done around here.
Right. And if you listening to this deep dive, if you use artificial intelligence in your daily workflow, you have definitely hit this exact same wall.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're talking to an entity that has essentially read the entire internet. It can write us on it in seconds, right? It can summarize a dense philosophical text. But when you ask it to format a presentation the exact way your boss likes it, it completely fumbles the ball.
It's because the model has this massive general intelligence but zero domain expertise for your highly specific workflow. And that is, well, that's really the core friction of modern AI right now.
And that friction is exactly what we're digging into today. We're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating recent talk by Barry Zhang and Mahesh Marag from Anthropic. They presented at an AI engineer event, and they basically argued that the way the tech industry has been trying to fix this problem is just completely backwards.
Yeah, it's a huge pivot. They're saying we need to start trying to build specialized AI agents from scratch, and instead we need to start building AI skills.
Agents to skills, which sounds like a subtle wording change, but it actually completely changes who gets to program AI.
Radically changes it.
Right. We're moving from a world where customizing an AI requires like a whole team of machine learning engineers to a world where a finance manager or an HR professional can shape the AI's behavior directly.
Yeah. But to really grasp why this is such a massive breakthrough, I mean, we really have to look at the old way of thinking first.
Okay, lay it out for us. What was the old way?
So historically, the assumption was that if you want an AI to do, say, financial research, you have to build a custom finance agent.
Right.
And if you want an AI to write code, you build a separate coding agent. The prevailing logic was just that different domains were so fundamentally distinct that the underlying architecture of the AI had to be custom built for each one.
Like every single job needed its own separate brain.
Exactly. Its own unique scaffolding, specialized tools, the works. And, Anthropic actually fell into this exact trap themselves when they built something called Claude Code.
Wait, Claude Code?
Yeah, they designed it to be an agent specifically for software engineering. They thought it would be this highly specialized niche tool. But after building it, they had this massive realization. They realized that code is not just a specific use case for programmers. Code is actually the universal interface to the entire digital world.
Okay, hold on. The universal interface. That sounds cool, but I mean, break that down for me. How does that help someone doing a normal desk job? Doesn't that just make the AI a glorified calculator for software developers?
It's the exact pushback a lot of people have. But think about generating a complex financial report. To a human, what does that actually involve?
Opening a web browser, logging into some secure database,
Right.
downloading a basic spreadsheet, maybe a CSV file, opening Excel, manually making a pivot table, and then, I don't know, writing a summary in Word.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
feels like navigating a dozen different graphical environments, but to an AI equipped with a coding environment, it looks entirely different. It just uses an API, which is basically a digital bridge letting two pieces of software talk to pull the raw data.
Right, it bypasses the screens completely.
Yes. It saves that data to the computer's file system, writes a quick bit of Python code to crunch the numbers, and synthesizes the text into a document. All of that is just basic code execution.
Wow. So it doesn't need a complex web of different software integrations.
Not at all. It just needs a basic command line, a bash terminal, and access to a file system. Once Anthropic realized that this really simple setup is universally scalable across almost any desk job, it changed everything. The core engine is already capable of anything.
But wait, if the engine can do anything and it has this universal interface,
Yeah.
why does it still struggle with like my specific Tuesday afternoon marketing report?
Well, this brings up a fantastic analogy that Barry and Mahesh shared during their talk. So, Mahesh is described as this 300 IQ mathematical genius.
Okay, quite the resume.
Right. And Barry, on the other hand, is an experienced tax professional. And the question they pose is, who do you want doing your corporate taxes in 2025?
Oh, I definitely want the experienced tax professional.
Exactly.
I mean, I absolutely do not want a 300 IQ mathematical genius trying to derive current U.S. tax law from first principles every single time they look at a W-2.
You don't want them reinventing the wheel, right? Or questioning the logic of the tax code?
Yeah, or trying to mathematically prove why a specific deduction exists. I just want the consistent, reliable execution of someone who knows the procedural domain inside and out.
And that's the whole point. Today's standard AI agents are exactly like the mathematical genius in that scenario. They're brilliant, and they can do amazing things if you sit there and carefully guide them step by step. But they lack that upfront procedural knowledge.
Right, because the universal interface, the code, that's just the mechanism for action.
Yes, it's the hands, not the knowledge.
So the AI doesn't lack a capable brain, and it doesn't lack capable hands. What it lacks is a container, a way to hold that specific procedural knowledge.
Exactly. A general-purpose brain needs a highly efficient way to download your specific step-by-step instructions so it doesn't have to figure it out from scratch every single time.
We don't need to rebuild the AI's brain. We just need a better way to hand it the instruction manual.
And that brings us to the concept of the skill.
Right. This is the big pivot.
Yeah. And, when you hear the phrase AI skill, you probably picture something crazy complex, like neural network weights or some highly advanced, unreadable database structure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like rows of green code falling down a screen.
Right, like the Matrix. But the reality is beautifully simple. A skill is literally just a computer folder.
Wait, really? Just a folder?
Just a standard folder, like the yellow one sitting on your desktop right now. It's an organized collection of files that packages this composable procedural knowledge.
That is almost disappointingly simple.
I know, but it's brilliant. Inside that folder, you typically have a markdown file, which is just a simple, unformatted text document, usually called skill.md. That file contains the plain English instructions. Then, alongside it in the folder, you might have a few code scripts. And this deliberate simplicity solves a massive problem that older AI tools suffered from. It's known as the cold start problem.
Oh, I've seen this happen. You give an AI access to a complicated tool, but the instructions are vague, so the AI just gets stuck. It spins its wheels trying to figure out how to even turn the tool on.
Exactly. But code inside a standard folder is completely self-documenting. It's entirely transparent. The AI can actually open the folder, read the plain text instructions, analyze the script, understand exactly what it does, and use it reliably without any guesswork.
Okay, so give me an example. How does this actually play out in a real office?
So Anthropic shared a really concrete example involving presentation slides. Their AI, Claude, kept writing the exact same Python script over and over again. Every time an employee asked it to format a slide deck to match the company's brand colors, it started from scratch.
Oh man, that is such a massive waste of computing power and time. Deriving the solution from first principles every single time.
Totally. So the solution was simply to have Claude save that specific Python script into a dedicated skill folder. It essentially created a bespoke tool for its future self.
Oh, wow. So the next time a user asks it to style slides.
It doesn't bother writing a new script. It just opens the folder, runs the script sitting inside, and it's done. It instantly becomes faster, cheaper, and infinitely more consistent.
That's incredible. But anyone who has used AI heavily knows there is a catch here.
Okay, what's the catch?
Well, if you start giving an AI hundreds or thousands of these skill folders, doesn't its brain just melt? Like we've all experienced that moment where you paste way too much text into a chat window and the AI just completely loses the plot. It starts forgetting earlier instructions or hallucinating facts.
You're talking about running into the limits of the context window. The context window is essentially the AI's short-term working memory. And you're right, it is incredibly precious real estate. If you force the AI to read the entire contents of 100 different skill folders all at once before it even starts working, it totally gets overwhelmed.
So how do they fix that if it has thousands of skills?
Anthropic circumvented this limitation using a software design concept called progressive disclosure.
Progressive disclosure. Okay, let's ground this for the listener, because it makes a lot of sense when you think about it like a recipe box.
A recipe box?
Yeah, it's basically like
Yeah.
giving the AI a massive physical recipe box.
Yeah.
But instead of forcing the AI to memorize all 500 recipes the moment it wakes up, which would overwhelm its context window, you just let it look at the little index tabs at the top.
Oh, I like that.
Right, the tabs just say desserts, soups, chicken. Only that high-level metadata is shown to the model initially.
That's exactly how progressive disclosure works. The AI just sees the metadata indicating that a skill exists in its library. It knows it has a slide styling skill available, but it hasn't actually read the contents.
It's just scanning the tabs.
Yes. It's not until the AI decides, okay, the user has asked me to format a presentation, I need the slide styling skill, that it actually opens the folder. Only at that exact moment of need does it read that skill.md file to get the core instructions and access the scripts inside.
That protects the working memory perfectly, while still giving the AI access to, honestly, a virtually unlimited library of capabilities.
It really does. And because this architecture is so simple, I mean, we're literally just talking about standard folders and progressive disclosure, it has sparked a massive explosion in who is actually building these things.
Right, because you don't need a PhD to make a folder.
Exactly. Just 5 weeks after this concept was introduced, there were already thousands of skills in the ecosystem.
Thousands in 5 weeks.
Yeah. The speed of adoption really reveals this massive pent-up demand for customizable AI. Once Anthropic proved this folder method worked for their own basic foundational skills, things like creating and editing professional office documents, other software companies realized they could use this exact same framework.
Like a back door to teach the AI entirely new behaviors.
Exactly. Take a company called Cadence, for example. They operate in healthcare. Now, they didn't have to build a new medical AI model from scratch, which would have cost millions.
Right.
They just created a skill folder with instructions that tell Claude exactly how to read complex electronic health records. And it tells Claude which specific Python bioinformatics libraries to trigger when analyzing that data.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Overnight, just by dropping a folder into its library, this general AI knows exactly how to act like a specialized bioinformatics researcher.
Yep. Another fascinating example comes from a company called BrowserBase. So they built a third-party skill using an open-source tool called Stagehand.
Okay, what does that do?
Well, browsing the modern web is actually incredibly difficult for an AI. Websites are super visual, they're constantly changing, there are pop-ups.
Right, AI doesn't have eyes.
Exactly. So BrowserBase created a skill folder that translates complex web elements into simplified code the AI can interact with. It effectively teaches Claude how to navigate the web, click buttons, and fill out forms, just like a human would.
That's huge. I know Notion did something similar, too.
Yes.
They launched a skill so Claude can securely enter a company's Notion workspace, understand how all the pages are linked together, and do deep, comprehensive research across thousands of internal documents. But, you know, the most exciting part of this expanding ecosystem isn't even what the big software companies are doing.
No, it's what's happening inside everyday businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Enterprise adoption is where the barrier to entry just completely vanishes.
Fortune 100 companies are creating skills to teach the AI their own highly bespoke internal software practices. Like developer teams are teaching Claude their specific code styling guidelines, so it never writes code that violates company standards.
And this is where it gets really relevant for you listening right now.
Yeah.
You do not need to be a software engineer to build one of these.
Not at all.
If you work in HR, for example, and you have a very specific 5-step way you like to screen resumes, pull salary data, and format candidate summaries for the hiring manager, you can literally just open a plain text file.
Yep.
You type out those instructions, drop it in a folder, and suddenly the AI is a master of your exact workflow. You have basically transferred your unique domain expertise into a digital container.
And to make those workflows truly powerful, these non-technical users are combining their skill folders with another piece of technology called MCP.
MCP, Model Context Protocol.
Exactly. Think of an MCP server as a highly secure digital keycard. It gives the AI the actual permission and the physical connection to read your company's secure database or access your email server.
Okay, I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So the MCP server is the secure keycard granting access to the room.
Yes.
But the skill is the instruction manual sitting on the desk, telling the AI exactly what to look for and what to do with the files once it's inside the room.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
The MCP gets the raw data tokens in and out safely, but the skill orchestrates the entire workflow. And the combination of these two things really leads us to what is arguably the most futuristic part of this entire shift.
Okay, lay it on me.
Continuous learning and tangible AI memory. Up until now, we've been talking about human beings, accountants, HR reps, developers manually typing out instructions and building folders for the AI, right?
Yeah, human-generated skills.
But the ultimate goal is for the AI to build its own skills autonomously.
Which solves, honestly, the absolute biggest headache of using AI today.
The amnesia.
Yes. Right now, every time you start a new chat session, it's like the movie 50 First Dates.
Great reference.
The AI has complete amnesia. It doesn't remember that yesterday you specifically told it, hey, I hate exclamation points in professional emails, or that you prefer your financial tables formatted with the date on the left-hand side.
And that's why skills are so revolutionary here. They act as a form of tangible, persistent memory for procedural knowledge. The AI doesn't need to remember every random philosophical conversation you've ever had with it, but it absolutely needs to remember how you like to work. And the standardized format of a folder provides a guarantee. Anything the AI learns, writes down, and saves in a skill folder today can be efficiently and flawlessly utilized by a future version of itself tomorrow.
So Claude, on day 30 of working with you, should be vastly better, faster, and more aligned with your preferences than Claude on day 1.
Exactly. And Claude can already do this using something called a skill creator skill.
Right, a skill that creates skills.
Yeah. You can literally just tell the AI, hey, figure out the best way to pull this weekly metric. Try a few things, and once you have the process nailed down perfectly, save those steps as a new skill folder for next time.
Oh, wow.
It can instantly acquire new capabilities, evolve them over time, and crucially drop the ones that become obsolete when, say, your company changes its software.
So it's constantly updating its own operating manual.
Yes, and it makes learning in the moment highly cost-effective because it's just updating a text file. It's not retraining a massive multi-million-dollar neural network.
Okay, but hold on. I have to push back here.
Go for it.
If Claude is just autonomously writing its own scripts, saving them into folders, and then running them later, couldn't that get incredibly messy or even dangerous in a corporate environment? Like, how do we trust an AI that is basically writing its own software updates in real time? What if it accidentally deletes a crucial security step in its own instructions?
That is the exact frontier researchers are tackling right now. It's a huge question. As skills become more complex, moving from simple plain text instructions to packaging actual executable code, they have to be treated with the exact same rigor as traditional software development.
Right, because we can't just have a wild west of AI-generated folders floating around a Fortune 100 company servers.
No, absolutely not. There has to be oversight. And Anthropic is focusing heavily on testing and evaluation frameworks specifically for skills.
Okay, what does that look like?
They're building tooling to ensure that agents are actually loading and triggering the right skills at the right time, and automatically measuring the quality of the output. Plus, they're implementing strict version control.
Version control, meaning that as a skill evolves over time, there is a clear, trackable lineage of its behavior.
Exactly. So if the AI suddenly starts messing up your expense reports on a Friday, you can look back and see exactly how the skill folder was modified on Thursday.
And just roll it back to the version that worked.
You got it. Furthermore, they're structuring it so skills can explicitly depend on other skills, exactly like building blocks.
Give me an example of that.
So a complex financial analysis skill might depend on a smaller data gathering skill and a separate chart formatting skill.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. By treating these folders like formal software packages, enterprises can curate an evolving collective knowledge base.
It gets smarter. And securely smarter, as more people and agents contribute to it. I mean, think about the onboarding implications. When a new employee joins your team, they don't get a blank slate AI that knows nothing about your company. They get an AI that has already downloaded the collective procedural knowledge of your entire department.
It's massive. And to bring all of these complex threads together, the engineers from Anthropic ended their presentation with this grand historical analogy about computing.
I love this part.
It perfectly crystallizes the magnitude of this shift. They basically compared the current AI landscape to the traditional computing stack.
Right. Let's break that down for the listener. So in this analogy, the AI models, The massive underlying neural networks like Claude itself, those are the processors.
Yes, they're the CPUs.
They require billions of dollars, massive server farms, immense investment to build. They contain incredible potential. But, a processor sitting on a desk by itself isn't actually that useful to an everyday person.
Exactly. A processor needs an operating system to tell it how to route data.
Okay, so what's the OS in the AI world?
In the AI world, the operating system is the agent runtime. It's the platform, the scaffolding that gets the raw data in and out of the model. It orchestrates the basic resources and connects to the file system.
Which leaves the final, most important layer, the applications.
Yes.
And in this new paradigm, skills are the applications.
That's the big takeaway. Throughout the entire history of computing, only a tiny handful of massive, incredibly wealthy companies have had the resources to build processors or operating systems.
Right, your Intels, your Microsofts, your Apples.
Exactly. But millions of everyday developers, and eventually just regular people with a good idea, were able to build applications.
Because applications are where human beings encode our specific domain expertise, right? Our workflows, our unique points of view.
Precisely. By creating the skill framework, by making it just a simple folder with some code and plain text instructions, Anthropic is opening up the application layer of artificial intelligence to everyone.
We need to stop endlessly trying to rebuild complex agents from scratch. The agent, the operating system, is already built. The processor's already humming. Now it's time to build the applications.
Yeah.
It's time to take your specific, hard-earned expertise, whether you're a tax professional, an HR manager, a bioinformatician, and put it into a folder.
It really represents a fundamental industry-wide shift. We're moving from building isolated, specialized silos of AI to building a universal intelligence that can instantly equip itself with whatever tool or procedural knowledge it needs for the task at hand.
It's a future where the AI's memory and capabilities compound day after day, securely managed like a vast, evolving software library.
It really is.
So what this all boils down to is that you no longer need to be a machine learning engineer to program an advanced AI.
Not at all.
The core brain is built. The universal language, which is code, is established. All that's missing is your specific knowledge packaged in a simple folder.
Oh.
But this leaves us with a fascinating and, frankly, slightly provocative question to ponder as we wrap up today.
Yeah, this is the part that keeps me up at night. If an AI can now instantly download any domain expertise via a skill folder, and if it can even continuously update and perfect those skills itself over time by watching what works, what happens to the value of human procedural knowledge?
Exactly. I mean, if the AI eventually hold all the recipes and knows perfectly how to execute every single step to bake the cake, do we stop being the doers of processes entirely?
It's a profound shift.
Do human beings transition away from executing tasks and instead just become the curators and reviewers of these massive digital skill libraries? Next time you hire that brilliant genius we talked about at the top of the show, you might not be training them on how your company works.
No, you might just be handing them a folder.
Handing them a folder. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. If you're listening, look at your own daily tasks this week and ask yourself, what expertise of yours is ready to be packaged into a skill? Catch you next time.